Well, the centre has introduced a bill in the Parliament to amend the 1995 Waqf Act, aiming to enhance accountability and transparency in the functioning of the Waqf Boards and ensure mandatory inclusion of women. This initiative responds to demands from within the Muslim community and includes 40 amendments. The bill mandates verification for property claims by the Waqf Board and revises section of the Act to change the composition and functioning of the board. Incorporating women's representation, key amendments include mandatory verification of property claims and revisions to the composition and functioning of Waqf Boards to ensure better governance. In this telecast, we delve into what the prominent Muslims feel on their take on the amendments in the Waqf Act and what they feel are the reforms that the community needs. At this point in time, joining us on the show is Zafar Zariswala, former Chancellor of Maulana Azad National Urdu University and businessman. Zafar ji, thank you so much for speaking to us. First up, your reaction to these amendments. What do you think is the intention behind this kind of a change in the functioning of the Waqf Board?
See, I have not gone through any, the amendment which the government has come up with. But these changes have been happening because I know there was an amendment in 1995, then there was an amendment in 2013, and maybe now. And now, because today this bill has been put up for the Joint Parliamentary Committee. So they will decide and they will, consult, and that will happen. But, one thing, all Waqf boards, always, in the country we have almost 30 Waqf boards. Every state has a Waqf board. Now, Waqf boards are always directly under the control of the government. Members of Waqf board, they are totally appointed by the government of the state. The chairman of Waqf board is appointed by the state. In fact, the person who controls Waqf board, the CEO, is always an IAS officer. So he's a Government of India nominee. In fact, all the apex of all these Waqf boards is the Central Waqf Council, which is in Delhi, which is directly under the Government of India. The chairman of Waqf Council is appointed by the government. The members of Waqf Council are again appointed by the government. So government control was always there. All these Waqf boards, they are part of the Ministry of Law of the state. So they are always reporting, or they are totally controlled by the government. So I don't think there is anything much in that, because they were always controlled. But my problem is not about that. The Waqf or Awqaf, as we say, this was when the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he migrated from Mecca to Medina, the first migration. When he went to Medina, the first two organizations or institutions which he had set up first was Awqaf, which is Waqf, and Baitul Mal. And why was it needed? That we need to have a corpus, maybe an asset, and through this corpus, or by the earning of this corpus, we can take care of widow, divorcee, orphans, the poor, the downtrodden, the underprivileged. So this was always there. And over a period of time, like in India, for example, we have these Waqf properties across the board, across the country. What was the main idea? First, Waqf, it can never be sold. You cannot sell Waqf property ever. It is, they say, it is for God, for the path of God. It is gifted to God. And what is the major? Why it is Waqf? The job of that Waqf, or the people who control that, is again what? To take care of orphans, to take care of widows, to take care of divorcees, to take care of downtrodden, the poor, the underprivileged. And had we Muslims managed these Waqf property in a proper way, then I don't think we would have had any problem. Forget about Muslims. even the non-Muslims would have been, they also would have benefited enormously. So the problem is not Waqf Board. The problem is mismanagement of Waqf assets. That is the real problem.
You're right, sir. This is obviously something which needs to be contextualized and something that definitely needs to be understood as well. Well, joining us live on NewsX is also Mr. Syed Salman Chishti, who is the chairman of the Chishti Foundation and global representative of Ajmer Sharif. Mr. Chishti, appreciate you joining us. First up, what do you think has gone wrong with the Waqf boards of India that the government had to intervene?
Adab, greeting of peace, lots of du'as and blessings from Ajmer Dargah Sharif. This is Haji Syed Salman Chishti, Gaddi Nashin Dargah Ajmer Sharif and Chairman Chishti Foundation. Well, to begin with, Waqf Board is an institution which has been not used but abused over the last many years by people who have been in that position because the ultimate beneficiary, as per the Waqf intention, the people who made a noble intention, those individuals, those families, that when they leave this world, the properties or the land endowment that they are giving towards the community betterment, especially the Muslims, youth, educational initiatives, or the skill development, or even the employment initiatives, those noble intentions were never fulfilled. And it is kind of you can say it is those people who have been part of the Waqf Board or the CWC Council, they have not been truly responsible and honest to uphold those noble intentions of those who have endowment this land for educational purposes. So I think there was a long pending initiative. From time to time, we have spoken about it. We have given those memorandums, we have those meetings with the high officials in the government machineries and offices that there is a dire need of review, reform, and upgradation in the Waqf Board so that all the land endowments which are part of the Waqf Board from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, they are utilized as per the noble intention of those who had given them as land endowment within their lifetime and to continue the spiritual and blessings after they leave the world.
Right, but the question also rises, are you happy with the representation that is given to women and others in the amended law or not?
The important thing is that able people, able individuals should be chosen, should come through who can really, truly honor the spirit behind the Waqf intention of those who have given this huge endowments across India. So it is the matter of grave concern that the able and responsible officials were never part of the Waqf Board. That's why today when we talk about the revenues, talk about the educational institutions, the lapses and lack of these places, institutions on such land are missing from the present scenario. So the amendments must focus on bringing the right people, bringing the responsible people and professional panels who can review, upgrade, and enhance the potentiality of these huge land banks that the endowments have across India.
And were any consultations done with the Sufi community? And what were your suggestions?
Well, there have been no direct consultation, but there have been memorandums which have been sent from time to time to the relevant board offices, CVC committees, and also the ministries earlier. So perhaps there was no direct consultation in terms of the resolution or the reforms which have been brought forth at the present time. So obviously there must have been consultation on their own level, on the stakeholders. But I think the review which has come forward as of now, it is in a balanced state of understanding. And the important thing is to implement these reforms with transparency, with accountability, and upholding the real intention of those who have made this Waqf endowments from their families and the communities across India. I think that is very important.
Well, the government says that they are making no interference in any religious body. Do you agree with this approach?
Well, I think that's important, that government must provide a platform which is accountable, transparent, without any interference in the religious duties and the religious observance in any of the sacred places across India. I think because all the responsible members of such boards, panels, who are part of the different religious bodies and religious places, sacred places, they have an understanding. But the important thing is that there should be a mechanism where any transparency which is lacking or any accountability which is lacking, they must be held accountable. And that is the way I think government can ensure that the righteousness being followed and in practice into such spiritual and religious places when it comes to endowment, when it comes to providing the facilities to the seekers, the devotees, and also when uplifting and upgrading towards developing the educational institutions, developing the skill development initiatives, and as well as employment opportunities to the communities who are the real, who should be the real beneficiaries of such endowments across India.
All right, then how do we deal with the people who are claiming this to be an attack on India's Muslims, according to you?
Well, as I said, that the Waqf Board amendments and the recommendations have been pending for a long period of time. The political leaders must understand. I think today when the bill was tabled, in this Honorable Minister Shri Kiran Rijiju has made it very clear that whatever changes, betterment, even in the revenue generation, would come through these amendments would be solely utilized for the upliftment of the Muslim community, which is the real intention of when the Waqf has been endowed by any family or any society as per the intention. So I think the politicians must need to understand that whatever reforms have come, there should be a mechanism which is provided with transparency, with clarity of intention, and with nobility of execution of these endowments into the righteous panel. So I think if they have any objection, the Joint Parliament Committee has, the bill has gone to the review, which of course has been extended by the Honorable Minister Shri Kiran Rijiju himself, that because of the clarity of intention of the government, they are of course cooperating in all accounts wherever any questions are asked from any of the leader of oppositions or political leaders across India. So I think that's very good that a joint consultation and a dialogue and which will lead to the ultimate reforms. I give you a little example that when you look at the Waqf endowments and the properties across India, why they are underutilized. As of now, what we heard, what we read in the media reports, that the joint revenue of Waqf endowments from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is around 200 crores. And the land bank and the properties that are attached with the Waqf Board is huge. And I think thousands of acres of land are there, and the revenue is something which is very meager. And if with the transparency and rightly these implementations are applied, I think the revenue would go about 1,200 crore that one of the reports has mentioned. So one of the examples that I want to mention here is the capital of Rajasthan is Jaipur. And one of the most famous street in Jaipur is MI Road. Many people have heard about it. I'm sure you must have also heard about MI Road, which is of course a very prominent place for shopping and very large scale high-end showrooms are there. And the full form of the MI Road is not known by many people. I've asked this question and everybody has said, okay, we don't know. We have heard about MI Road. But what is MI Road? The name of MI Road stands for Mirza Ismail Road. So there was one gentleman, Mr. Mirza Ismail, many years back, who have endowed this land towards educational purposes, towards upliftment of the Muslim community. But as it is coming into the Waqf board from years and years and years, on paper they are still collecting the rents which were decided in 1950s between 100 rupees to 500, and today's rent is probably in lakhs. So where is that original rent is going, in whose pockets, where it is going on? And on record, it is just coming like 500 or 400 rupees a month from these large showrooms and the most famous street of shopping. So this is totally injustice towards the intention which was made by who has endowed this properties and land. So if the revenue, if the rents are updated towards this amendment which are coming in, and it's monitored by the able and competent authorities and professional individuals, I think it will be totally a game changer in terms of development of the Muslim community, in terms of development of educational and skill understanding, and also employment within the Muslim community across India. So I think that was it was much needed, it was awaited. And the important thing is that it must be implemented with the transparency, and whoever is made responsible to implement these amendments must be held accountable if there is any discrepancies and if there is any missing issues henceforth when this bill is adopted.
Right, and Chisti Saab, do you also feel increased regulation of the Waqf properties would in turn, encourage democratization of their control also?
Lots of encroachment in Lucknow, you see, on the Waqf land. And this Waqf board chairman and all are not able to do anything. They're just sitting. So this is the thing, we need to fix the accountability. But these changes, do you think that Chisti Saab was saying, but I think he has gone, I would like to ask him, do you think these changes are going to bring the lots of changes, and this will help in upliftment of our poor Muslims? Yes, including the women in the board should be welcome. It's a one step towards the gender justice, I think, but it should not be symbolic, because I see the women are in the personal law board also, but they are never vocal. So they mostly select the women who work according to them, So thing is this, that the women who are working, who have knowledge about it, I don't know the areas where the changes needed, where the help is needed, so they should be included. It's not like that whether they are pro-government, anti-government. Many women are just activists, they are not with any comment. They're critic of all governments, like me. So you can't expect from me that I will go and I will just started singing the songs in the favor of any chairman or someone. It's not like that. So if really you want to help the oppressed class, I'm saying, marginalized class women,
you're right, ma'am.
Especially women who are single, who are widow, you make the shelter homes for them, upgrade them, give them technical education to them, like a beautician course, enroll them in B.Ed, BTC, like that. And there's so many courses where you can empower them. If they are educated, they can go to that line. If not, they have little education, they can go for these kind of, for the job, skilled jobs they can go. So cooking classes and all, you can arrange. Computer classes can be arranged by the Waqf board. They have enough land. School, colleges, they are supposed to be. It is written, they are supposed to support college, school, Musafir Khana, hospital, college, Imam Badas, Dargahs, they all are supposed to. But what is happening, What the Dargah, they are the people who are just looking after the head of the Dargahs, they are just...
Right, ma'am.
They have glorified...
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Let me also rope in Advocate Majidi into this conversation. Advocate Majidi, what do you make of, these amendments? Are they going to help, Tahira ji said, are they going to help the poor? Are they going to take, the marginalized Muslim community out of their troubles?
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका मौका देने के लिए। देखिए, वक्फ जो होते हैं वो दो तरह के होते हैं, एक वक्फ अलल खैर और एक वक्फ अलल औलाद। अपनी संपत्तियों को कोई भी व्यक्ति जो है, कोई मुसलमान इसलिए वक्फ करता है कि उसका उद्देश्य जो है वो, अगर वो वक्फ अलल खैर कर रहा है तो यानी मतलब सारे मुसलमानों को उसका लाभ मिले, और वो वक्फ अलल औलाद कर रहा है तो उसकी औलादों को और पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी जो भी औलादें हों उसका लाभ मिलता जाए। तो इन सारी चीजों के इन उद्देश्य के तहत, धर्मार्थ उद्देश्य के तहत वक्फ किए जाते हैं और इन वक्फ संपत्तियों के संरक्षण के लिए कालांतर में वक्फ बोर्डों की स्थापना की गई। लेकिन जो वक्फ बोर्डों में जिस तरीके से कारकर्दगी हुई, उन्होंने ये सारे सिस्टम को ही चेंज कर दिया। मिसाल के तौर पर किसी सूफी संत ने किसी खानकाह की स्थापना की और उसने कहा कि हमारी खानकाह में महफिल इज्तिमा की जाएगी, यानी सूफी परंपरा के आयोजन किए जाएंगे और लंगर और ताजियादारी ये सारी चीजें की जाएंगी। लेकिन अब चूंकि मुसलमानों के अंदर तमाम तरीके की फिरकेबाजी है, तो उस फिरकेबाजी के तहत वक्फ बोर्ड के अंदर जो आज की तारीख में जो नवैयत है, चपरासी से लेकर के चेयरमैन तक जो भी हैं, वो एक खास विचारधारा जिसे देवबंदी, वहाबी, सलाफी, अहले हदीस कहते हैं। और ये विचारधारा के लोग सूफी परंपरा की जो चीजें हैं, इन सारी चीजों को कुफ्र, शिर्क और बिदअत मानते हुए मज़ारों को बड़ी मूर्ति कहते हैं और इन मज़ारों पर जाने वाले सूफियों को काफिर, मुशरिक, बिदअती कहते हुए इन्हें मुसलमान ही मानने से इनकार कर देते हैं। और ऐसे लोग इन वक्त की संपत्तियों का मतलब जो है वो वक्फ बोर्ड में बैठ करके वो उसकी देखरेख करते हैं।
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.